All right, welcome back to ATTV. And we have A and T, and we have special guests M, S, and Baby C with us. We're talking today about some good stuff, and we've got new startup music.
Oh, boy.
See?
Oh my God.
See? It's going to be great. We start off strong. All right. So today we're talking about road rage.
Oh, we're continuing to play the music. Okay.
Well, you're supposed to make it a cool, longer intro, which is why you do it. Do you not believe in the longer music? Okay, I guess we're going to stop.
I mean,
that was the look
I think if you left it at the highway to hell, that would have been perfect.
All right. So, we're talking about road rage. And apparently, you're going to have to fix the echo is having house rage.
Alexa wants to talk to.
Yeah, Alexa wants to speak to us. So, actually, Em and I were having a conversation the other day about road rage.
Yep.
And one of the things that came up in conversation was M's fascination of having vehicles follow him all the way from his hometown to his job.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you mean following?
Like, literally from the time I leave work, having a vehicle follow me all the way to the light, like a mile from my house, like for 30 minutes, and then they just turn off. And I'm like, you're going through like 4 or 5 different towns, and you have to follow me for 30 minutes to the last light and then turn, and I'm a mile from my house. And it drives me nuts. Because I feel like they're stalking me and following me the whole way.
It's a little weird.
Yeah. And sometimes it will be me doing it to the car in front of me. And I'm the one that's doing it, and it drives me absolutely insane.
And it's not like it's a straight road.
No.
There's curves you have to turn off.
There's
a lot of roads to turn off.
Yeah.
But they're just happening to be going the same direction.
Literally from work all the way to the last light in my town, and then they just turn off. And I'm like, you're going,
speed limit.
There's like literally 4 or 5, you're going through a city, and then there's 4 or 5 different towns to go through, and you would think they would veer off of one random road, and they just don't.
Well, and there's 2 different ways to get to our hometown, so it's like, you couldn't go the other way.
I know. It just drives me nuts. I really feel like they're following me.
See, I don't like getting behind people, though. So, like, when I left here the other day and drove to work, I was behind a car almost the entire way, and it was going 54 miles an hour. And you can't pass. There's nowhere to pass. And I got more upset the further we went and realized that they weren't going to turn. And they had to stop all the way at every single intersection.
Yeah.
And there's no one there. Just keep going.
Wait a minute. Some of those intersections you don't have to stop at, right? You just slow down.
Right. And they stopped at every single one with no cars there.
Was it an older lady?
I couldn't tell because I was so mad at the whole situation.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Tunnel vision.
I just looked at the back of the car the whole time. Yeah.
I just had one last week, too. I was going to the city to go to an appointment, and I got right in my town behind a U-Haul truck. And for 10, 15 minutes, they're doing between 40 to 45 miles an hour on a 55 with dry roads. And there is no place to pass.
Oh, was that on the way to the chiropractor?
Yeah. And then literally, as I had a moment to pass, it goes down to 40 miles an hour. And I'm just like boiling.
And they were speeding in the 40.
They just kept going at the same speed.
And I'm like, frig, I'm going to do 55. Doing a 40.
Didn't they keep going and sped in the 40? And then
I turned around. I passed them after that. And then that's when it went down to 40. But for like 10 miles, he was doing 40, 45, and a 55.
Oh, that's annoying.
It drove me nuts, and there was no passing spot. it just gets to you.
My favorite is when you can pass them, and then they all suddenly know how the gas pedal works. and then they go really fast, and you're like, "Are you screwing with me? I'm not sure here because I've been following you for like 10 minutes now." And you've been going like 5 to 10 miles under the speed limit. Now we get where I can pass you, and now you want to go like 90.
Yeah.
Please be consistent.
Maybe they finally realize, like,
But then they slow back down again, and you're just like, wait a minute, pick a speed. But I have been guilty of that myself. Slow and fast. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's not the speed limit. And then I slow down, and I'm like, I wonder if the person behind me is getting annoyed.
Has anyone had it with their car where they get so boiled up so they actually start passing and you have too much confidence in your car The car's kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
No, I have not done
Start
that.
passing on blind.
Oh my gosh, this car's not, I'm gonna crash.
No. I've seen a car pass 5 cars before, and I was like, oh, this is not Fast and
no,
Furious.
No, I can't
That's
do that.
dangerous.
Yeah, no, I don't have that confidence.
Yeah, no, me either. And it was a little vehicle. I was like, dude, you get hit, you're gone.
Oh yeah, that's how I feel.
That's very ballsy.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not saying I'm an aggressive driver or impatient. It's just times where it's
You're
like,
impatient.
yeah,
Okay,
we're
maybe,
impatient. It's
but-
taking too long, and you need to be there on time.
I don't try to put anyone else's, safety in jeopardy.
Right.
But see, getting to work to me is less important than getting home.
Right.
I'm much more in a rush to get home. I don't care how
Right.
I pass you. I'll pass you
Right.
on the shoulders, through the woods,
Right.
whatever I have to do to get there. But then, when A left for work, this was a while ago, we took one of the main highways, and I was cruising right along, and this one that drives very, I don't know if carefully is the right word, it just blows by me. It 78, 80 miles an hour, and the road's 60, 65. Doesn't even look at me, doesn't even wave, just straight shot, just goes. I mentioned to her, I said, maybe you ought to slow down because no, I don't care. Just gone. And then you stay in the left lane that's what gets me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm going to stop there. Campers in the left lane. That gets me. That right there.
Oh.
That kills me almost more than anything else.
Yep.
Like, you're there, move.
Mm-hmm.
Move.
Listen, I don't mind driving on the highway, and the highway is like the most confident part for me. I usually can drive pretty fast on the highway. It's driving in the city and stuff is where I slow down because people are stupid and don't use turning signals.
There's my pet peeve
And
right
and
there.
they'll literally just turn a corner and you'll be like, well, that would have been nice to know you were going that way. I mean, or they'll put it on as they're turning. That one kills me. You're half in the turn and now you remember your turning signal?
Oh, I always said if I was a police officer, I would pull over every single person that would use their turn signal because it's so easy. They're so lazy. It's right there. You basically get to the point where you learn how to do it. We don't even think about doing it. It's just automatic muscle memory.
But police officers also speed and don't use their signals.
And they'll look at their
Right.
cell phone half the
But-
time.
Yeah.
They're like, what?
I just don't understand why people are so lazy and they just don't use it. It's part of your car and it's what you're supposed to do. And like you said, most of the time they're like halfway in the turn before they use it.
Yeah, but
It's
you're
like,
also
well,
supposed to
that's
go the
pointless
speed limit, and not everyone does that, so.
I don't know. I also think that
Well-
people are getting their licenses and they shouldn't get them, but
Yeah.
I think they just shell them out to anybody and everybody.
I just love when a car is sitting in the middle of an intersection without a blinker on. They're trying to turn left.
That's true. That's
Well, that's true.
And they don't,
Matt's favorite is when he's driving on the highway.
Oh, I know you're going with this.
And he, is going 70, 75. And of course, there's an on-ramp.
Yeah.
But the person's coming on the on-ramp. As we're pulling up to the on-ramp, he's like, you friggin' what? And he usually floors it.
I don't know. I can't stand it. Like, of all times, you can't give me 3 seconds where that car could be perfectly matched up with me, and now I got a floor.
They won't do it.
And they're like, I can't go in the left lane. There's someone there. I'm like, every single on-ramp that I'm coming to, there is a car that wants to be right next to me. It just drives me nuts. I don't know.
Every time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just bothers me. But those little details things I pay attention to. And I'm just like, why can't my drive just be easy and effortless?
But I tell him, they're allowed to be on the road too.
Yeah, but not the same exact
But
time
not
that
the
I'm
same
there.
road that he's on.
Ever. Never.
Deal with the
No.
person
Don't even
behind
try.
me. I don't care, but it has to be. I just want it to be nice and easy drive. It doesn't have to be every on ramp. I don't know. It just it bugs me. It bothers me.
I don't know. I think other people.
Maybe I just have a temper issue.
I think you have road rage.
Well, I think anything.
Yeah, but some people's road rage is extreme.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well,
He's not the one to flip a bird, though.
But I had
No,
a
I'll
guy.
stare you down. I won't stare you down. I'll just floor it.
But I had that guy when I was in the main road stopped with that rental car. And then he's screaming at me because I'm blocking the entrance to Wendy's.
Mhm.
Right? So he's at the gas station across the road, and it's a 4-lane, 2 one way, 2 the other, to come across. And he's screaming at me, then rams his truck through all the cars in the little opening, and then gets over there, comes out, walks across all the lanes to yell at me through the window. I'm not gonna. Look, listen, all right, I know you're all worried about this. Everyone's worried about baby C. It's all good. It's helping me out.
He's fine.
Back on track, thank you. Yeah, and he got all jacked up, and I couldn't even figure out. I made him more angry, though, because I wasn't I was super calm, and I thought he thought that I was going to get upset and didn't even faze me.
Yeah.
So.
I don't think I've ever had a situation like that before, thankfully.
I didn't ask
we
for
did
it.
on our honeymoon.
Oh, that wasn't good.
Oh, I do remember something about
My
that.
dumbass.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm just going to send it. We're in this compact, what was it, a Chevy Sonic?
Something like that, yeah.
Or one of the tiny
I thought
little
it was a
cars.
mini golf.
Huh?
Wasn't that mini golf?
No.
No, okay.
Oh, yeah, it was after mini golf.
Yeah.
But we were in a Chevy Sonic, and it was like a 4-lane traffic on highway traffic. And I'm like, there is no opening. I'm flooring it. So I floor it, but I have to get all the way into the turning lane.
Yeah, like 3 lanes.
3 lanes in.
Oh, you had to
So I send it. Didn't even see this truck coming with a bunch of stuff. They must have been moving.
Piles of boxes in the bed.
And he had to slam on his brakes.
He
started following us.
Yep, he went in our lane, and he
followed us into the driveway we pulled in. I'm trying to hide. I'm like, this guy's gonna kill us.
Yeah, we went into a parking lot and found it was a dead zone.
So I just pulled into a parking spot waiting for him to follow us. But I think he just lost us.
He lost us, drove past,
I was like,
around.
oh my gosh,
and then,
this is where we die.
Yeah. So we pulled out of the parking spot and went to another parking spot, and he was at the light. And I swear that was the longest light of our life.
Yeah.
It was like, it would not turn green.
Yeah.
No, it would not turn green. And finally it didn't. He was gone.
But
that was sketchy. It was like, we're in Florida.
We're gonna die. We're gonna die. My heart's pounding,
Mine too. That was not fun. Yeah, that truck slammed on those brakes hard.
I can't say I'm innocent, though. I've followed some people before when I get really, really upset, but I'm not really going to do anything. I think it's more just to get on their nerves, and then I just leave. Mm-hmm. Just follow them just far enough.
I feel like that guy probably would have.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Probably would have said something at least.
My ex-husband used to have a bad habit of losing his temper. He had terrible, terrible road rage. And I remember one time we were on 690 heading into Syracuse, and somebody cut him off. And he literally had a Saab, and he put that thing
as
fast as he could go, got right in front of the guy and slammed his brakes. I got the kids in the back seat of the car. I lost it.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I actually slapped him upside the head. I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? And then him and this guy were doing it for like 10 minutes. So I finally told him, I said, pull over.
Yeah.
I will stay on the side of the damn road. Pull over. You have your kids in the car, knock it off. But he, I guess, one time lost it so bad that he got cut off by somebody in the city, and he went up to the person and he had like a can of soda or something in the car, and he threw it at the person's car. And I'm like, dude, you're going to get stabbed.
Yeah.
You're in Syracuse.
I've been in a car where someone thought we were racing and they threw pennies out the window as we were driving. I'm like,
that's why I don't really get that extreme with people, because you just don't know
right. You don't
who
know
you're dealing with. Yeah. I have a limit, and I know my limit.
Right.
And
well, see, he got punched one time on Erie Boulevard, where they do all the racing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He got punched one time because he was like yelling out the window at this guy when they were racing or whatever. And then the guy parked where they were at, came up to the window and just got in the car and like started punching him. And I was like, well, that's why we don't talk crap to people. We don't know how people are.
Those life choices, they just get you, don't they?
It's really not worth it.
I have one more example that really bothers me. And you do it, sometimes, and do not take it personal. It's just things that it's just like, oh, God.
No, I hope you do. I hope it rages you right out.
Well, it does. So, you got a traffic light, and someone's going to go straight.
Oh, I know exactly what you're going to say.
And someone goes to the right on the other side, right on the shoulder, and it's not a passing lane to turn right. And it drives me nuts that people are making up their own rules about it.
Oh, you do that all the time.
And I've seen them do
flashers make any spot a parking spot.
But you do that, and it's like if the car's coming, that's going to be a situation. Or if someone's at like on the highway and they're going to turn left at an intersection, the cars go around. Well, what if there's another car that's going to turn left?
That's why you got to go left, closer to the line to look. Then you bear.
But you're doing like 40 miles an hour.
No, you're saying faster than that.
Oh.
I don't do just 40 though. I do it.
He's gonna rip your mouth off.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Like I said, it's just something. I just think it's sometimes like you were saying, like you want to get home really fast, and it's that impatience.
Do it.
And it's the impatience, but the thing is, like when you're at a stop and someone goes in the shoulder, it's like that. It's just not a lane.
Well, how about when someone's parked on the side of the road and
small things.
Instead of the lane that the thing's parked in, stopping like you're supposed to, they just go around it, even if there's a car coming. They don't wait for their turn to.
Oh, you're saying they just go
Like
out.
Amazon trucks are notorious for being in the middle of the road, and the other lane just goes around. They don't even wait for the right of way.
Yeah.
And that can cause accidents. I've seen people do that before, and it's like, no, like I will wait.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I'm not trying to get hit.
Yes.
So I'm good. I will wait 5 minutes. I don't care. It's not that important. But some people will literally go into the other lane, and I'm like, dude, are you done? Like, did you not see the 3 cars coming?
But you pay for the whole road. Use the whole road. That's why I can do the right, even though it's the shoulder. I still pay for that road.
You don't pay for the whole road. You pay for pennies.
That's not how.
Well, that road I'm driving on is what I paid for.
If you're doing a road test, you wouldn't do that.
I'm not doing a road test.
No, I know, but to me, it just shows the impatience. That's all.
It is.
It's not.
And I am impatient. I can own that.
That's why I said I am not trying to be offensive.
So now it makes me feel like I have to do it every time now.
If that makes you get me a little boiled up,
because I know that you don't follow me all the way to where I live.
Right.
You have to go the other way.
Right. And have someone follow me the whole way.
Right. Have someone follow you the whole way. By the time you get home, you will be way up to here.
Oh, definitely.
That's
just an example. It's kind of small and everything.
No, but that's how it works, though.
Yeah.
The little things build up. So there
so
was somebody. Yes, Baby C is the star of the show. There was a guy actually from my work that followed me. Well, actually, no. It really started because it was my fault. Because I may or may not have done that right shoulder cut on him, and he was a ways back, and he didn't know it was me. So when we got into the next town, he went by me, and he tried to get ahead, and then he was trying to cut me off, but I pushed ahead, which made him even more upset.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time he got done, he lays on the horn, goes right by, and so I ended up following him all the way down, just for fun at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that he was getting nervous because by mile 20 or 25, he realized I wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
And he just takes off. And no offense to the smaller people, he was a shorter individual with a syndrome that I won't. Real tough talker until you get out of the vehicle and realize that you're not as tough as you think you are.
You're 5 foot nothing.
Yeah, you're like
a boot to the face.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, but by then it lets me cool down and I laugh it off.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I've seen him road rage a few times.
Yeah, it's not road rage, but I get anxiety next to tractor trailer trucks. I have to pass them. I feel like
I do too. Like I will go balls to the wall to get past them.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't even care if there's a cop in the
Well, there's the tire blowouts. I've seen those, and you don't want to be next to it when it happens because all that comes out and hits the car like a shockwave.
Well, I love it. Like, so there's a tractor trailer in the right lane, and you're trying to pass it, and there's this car doing the same exact speed as that tractor trailer.
Right next to it.
And you're right next to it. And the car's not, doing maybe 2 miles an hour. It takes like 5 minutes to pass that truck. That's when the anxiety and slight road rage kicks in. Slight. It's like you're in the wrong lane, dude. You just
the worst my road rage is I'll like yell like the person can hear me.
Yeah.
Or I'll flip them off.
See, I don't do that.
I might beat my horn and then I'm like, uh-oh. But
that's probably not what's verbalized.
No. You gotta keep it PG.
I don't beat my horn. I'm scared they're gonna be like, "Hey yo."
Well, the funny thing is my horn's not even threatening. It's like, beep.
It's like
what's that gonna do?
Your horn is pretty sad.
It's pathetic. Gotta get one that's like, burp.
Put an air horn on it.
There you go.
Put an air horn under that. It's
Get a train horn.
Yeah.
I know,
right?
That's aggressive, I think.
I'm looking at my notes. Oh, yeah, here we go. There you go. This is one of my strangest ones. When I get really mad and I pull up next to somebody, I actually will turn the volume down to yell, but the window's still up. And I haven't had time, and they can't even see in the car because of the tint, but I've caught myself like yelling at someone, but I don't want them to see who I am. So I kind of bitch out.
I have
just crack the window.
I'm just just can you hear me? I don't want you to see me though.
I start getting the sweats a little bit when someone parks out right next to me, and I feel like they're going to be looking at me at a stoplight. Like they're like totally lined up the windows.
Oh, you mean you don't like someone adjacent to you?
Yeah.
At a stoplight?
Yeah, like if it's a long stoplight.
Oh, I look at them, I'm like...
I don't like to look at I just like don't even try to look at them. I'm like,
no, that's the best part. When you're the passenger I like to do that awkward stare where you just blatantly stare at them because I want to try to make them feel uncomfortable.
He's already uncomfortable just sitting there.
I do it all the time, and then they'll like sit there and I'll be like, or I'll wave at them. I love to do it.
Oh no, I'd like to have it where it's not that equal.
I'm even like awkward about it, man. I'll just be like,
I think I'm gonna just start putting my nose up to the window when you pull up next to someone. You know, just
you would not. You will not do that.
But it makes a difference too. Like in my car, you're low, so you're like staring up at the truck, and then when there, you're looking down, like like you're better, just like you inferior person.
That'd be me to you.
Yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, just look up. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah,
but no, I was looking, and actually today I saw one of those Facebook posts about a state trooper car getting hit, and they seem to have a lot of those because they don't move over, right? So they need to move over a lot. And every time you go down through, I swear to God, no one moves over on the highway. So they're all driving right by. Now there's 3 lanes, and they're not that busy. Like, I mean, it's not a very... out here where you're running down through the main street.
They give massive tickets for that now.
They do, but the cars still, they don't move over. And that is one of the things now. I think you should do it anyways. It shouldn't have had to become a law in order for you to do that. It's common sense. You don't want to be skating right by the tow trucks and stuff. And they don't do it. And that kind of, it gets under my skin.
Yep.
My mom actually got pulled over one time because I told her that too. Like, we were driving up to visit my brother, and I was like, Mom, you got to get over in the other lane. She goes, why? And I'm like, there's a car pulled over. Now, it was a trooper had pulled over somebody else, but she didn't. She just went driving by. I'm like, oh, you're going to.
It's kind of inconsiderate.
And he pulled her over, and she tried everything she could to get out of that ticket. He was not having it.
Oh, really?
He really lit into her.
Oh,
and
nice.
She was like, I didn't know that was a law. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, how long have you been driving?
Yeah. It is inconsiderate, and when you're that person that's out on that road, it's hairy.
Well, because it's scary.
Yeah,
they
it's
have
scary.
to be on that side, and they're already nervous because you don't know. Because there's times where they pull people over and there's weapons and everything else.
Right.
So they don't have a clue.
They're already taking a risk.
Well, what if you change the tire?
That should be the last thing they should have to worry about.
But then they're going to say, well, you got to get all the way over, right? Well, you're already hung up wherever lane you're in. And if you're on the left lane, you're supposed to cross all the lanes to get to the right shoulder. And sometimes you can't. You have to bail off on the left side. And that is the worst place you can be is on that left-hand side. You reminding me of that with your mom. You ever have like a trooper or a local cop that just follows you around town?
No.
Like you go by them and then they just for some reason keep following you around, but they never pull you over?
I haven't had that happen in a while.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're driving around and maybe you go by them a little fast, so they turn around and they'll start tailing you a little bit. Probably run your plate and just kind of see where you go.
Yeah,
and that'll always make you sweat because you think you're like, oh man, it's definitely coming.
I actually haven't had that happen to me in a long time.
Yeah,
it hasn't happened.
I heard if you pull in your driveway though, they can't give you a ticket.
I heard that
in your
too.
driveway, but I don't know if that's true.
So what you're saying is just speed home.
Make it in the driveway.
I heard that they have to pull you over before you get into your driveway, and technically, I heard that when they have their vehicles out, they're supposed to technically be in plain sight.
I did hear
if they're not in plain
driveway.
sight, you can fight that.
If they don't pull you, my understanding is if they don't pull you over on the public road and you hit private property, they can't do anything about it unless it's like shared like a gas station.
Yeah, but I also heard that if their vehicle's not out in plain sight and they pull you over for speeding, that you can argue. I actually knew somebody that argued that one time and got out of a speeding ticket because the officer was hidden behind a building. So I don't know if that's really a true thing, but
well, I mean, you wouldn't get pulled over if you weren't speeding. So I guess I'm kind of like a
or they pull you over just because.
Right. That's
Some
true.
people like to do that.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
Of course, if you're in like a place like where you guys are and everybody knows everybody, they can see you go by and say, oh, all right, that guy's trouble. We'll go ruin his day.
Yeah, pretty much. That could happen.
All right, so I'm going to ask each of you a question. You have to be honest and you have to answer it immediately.
What?
It's well, you'll get it. There's 2 types of people in the world. What do you do at a yellow light?
Depends on my mood.
Do you run it or do you stop? Distance does not matter.
Distance doesn't matter?
Nope.
It
Distance
depends
doesn't
on my
matter.
mood.
You're one of two people.
So if I think I can make it, I run it. If I don't think I can make it, then I slow down. But it also depends on how busy the area is. If it's not a busy area, I'm going to run it.
Okay. All right. What about you?
Not gonna lie, in a school bus, I try to make it.
You run yellows with a school bus? Well done. Well, your name's not being used here, so it doesn't matter.
Well, in my own car, I usually slow down, especially because I have a baby now.
Wait, so with a bus,
okay,
you'll make the journey, but in your personal car you won't.
Okay, but my town has two stoplights, and
so
one of them's on the way to the high school from the middle school. So I literally,
you can just.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna scoot in behind this bus. I'm just gonna go. Do you know how long it takes the bus to stop going 30?
Well, if you're going 30.
I'm not slamming on a brake with 50 kids in the back.
But then saying you're going through town at 50 and the light turns yellow in a 30 zone. What about you?
I don't really have a definitive answer of yes or no. It really depends on the weather, on the vehicle that I'm driving.
Yeah.
It depends when it turned.
So you're making a calculated decision.
Yes.
So you don't just see, I don't think about it.
You
I know
send
that.
it.
I followed you. I know. I've followed you before.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, in my mind, the only time that I will really stop is if it's so far out that you're not. You know it's coming.
But sometimes there's lights that how long the yellow is.
That's
right.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
if it just turned yellow and I'm almost there, I'm going to go. But if it's a distance out, I'm going to start to slow down.
Right. But if you have a heavy vehicle in the rain,
sometimes you're better off running it.
Yeah, sometimes you're better off running it.
That's true.
Because then you're not going to make it.
It's only going to be like a half a second or a second that it's going to be red. And it's like, are they really going to do anything?
And because no one's around most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, where people really like to run that late is in that main intersection where I used to live.
The one where you go right or left or up to the college?
No, further down where Wendy's and Fast Track and all that is. The huge main intersection.
They run that.
People run that all the time.
I've ran yellow.
Do you know how many times there's been accidents over there?
Sheesh.
Probably for people like us.
Yeah, no,
hopefully not the school bus.
I don't know. It's been run a lot. They just had a major accident there not even a year ago.
Right.
So.
But.
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation for sure.
Well, if you were to run a yellow light in a bus and you get stopped for it.
Which has never happened.
Of course, I don't know how much they pay attention because you wouldn't think somebody with a bus would run it.
Well.
You wouldn't think that.
I just
think... Well, you don't know half the drivers.
Well, that's
I work
true.
with.
I mean, it does.
We've got a lead foot, Lucy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess if you were to...
I think if you're pretty close to that light, I kind of almost sometimes, if it's a long green, I almost start to slow down a little bit before I get to the light, just in case it turns yellow.
Yeah.
Like if I have a distance in a long green, I will let off the gas.
I do the same thing, but then I get to it and it switches to yellow. So I'm like, should I slam on the brakes or should I not?
If that happens, I go for it.
Oh.
So then you'll go
in that situation, I'll go for it. Yes.
Okay.
I'll move it.
All right. Well,
I don't know. That's an iffy.
I would go for it. I think it's safer to do that than slam the brakes. And you might be in half an intersection by that point.
All right. So we can build on that. You run the yellow light, and the person behind you can't make it. You ever watch them in the back where they have to see if they'll run it with you?
No.
You don't pay attention?
No.
I have watched
the car behind you is riding you. And you're coming up to you're moving right along because you think you're going to make it. Light turns yellow and I'm not even watching where I'm going. I'm watching to see what the guy behind me does. Because either he will lock up the brakes and be like halfway out the intersection. Or
before he makes it to the light, you mean?
Yeah, so if you're in front of somebody,
and
you're coming up to the light, and you know you're gonna just go, right? What are you doing there, baby? He's eating the toy. And he makes the run for it. You watch the guy behind you because you know if he's gonna do it, you're not the one that's gonna get busted for it. The guy behind you will.
I never thought of it. I don't think I really looked.
I watched him the other day because I didn't think he was going to go. It was yellow, and I'm pretty positive that it was about to turn red. And I didn't think he was going to go, and he did. He followed me, and I was like, "Holy crap!"
I found another road race thing that I just thought of.
See,
kind of reminded
you can just
remind me of it.
It never ends.
I hate it when I am following someone, I have no idea where I'm going, and they run a yellow. And they get me
stranded
at
all the
lights.
time.
Now hold on.
I hate
You're
that.
getting better about it.
Yeah,
but you did not in the beginning.
I hate that so much that I'm like, you really couldn't have stopped that.
No, you know what you do?
Or they run it, but then they pull over on the side of the road and wait. So it's like, what the heck are you doing? All the time.
Yes.
All the time. He goes, and then I'm like, I'm not going to risk that. I'm not as
She drives 80 miles an hour, but then she won't run the yellow. And then I'm stuck waiting. I'm like, maybe this is the time she'll do it.
So he pulls over. But yeah, the other day I ran the yellow, but I didn't think he would because I was like, there's no way he's going to do that. He did. I was like, oh my God, he didn't get hit. I was like, I didn't think
I am watching where I'm going.
Well, he does have a high performance vehicle too.
Yes.
Is that what it
is?
It's
a high performance. He's got total confidence in that.
I wouldn't have done that. I would have waited.
But you don't have confidence like I do in your vehicle.
that was what I didn't think of was that, especially when at the end of you don't know where you're going. So.
Yeah, right. And then if they keep going, like they don't even slow down, and then you can't reach them on their phone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing I hate too is when you're following somebody, and I will speed only up to 10 miles over the speed limit. I don't really like going faster than that.
Isn't 7 supposed to be the safe zone?
I go up to 10. I don't like to go further than 10.
Yeah.
But I hate it when you're following somebody and they're driving like 20, 15, 20 over the speed limit. And you're just like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'm not trying to get a ticket.
When we're following. We were coming up from our cousins that was 2 hours away, and he was showing us how to get back.
He was going like 90.
He was doing like 90.
And we lost back roads. We're like,
at 10 o'clock at
night.
And this is at 10 o'clock at night. It's pitch black, and we're on windy roads. Now, on the windy roads, he was doing, 45, but he was doing like 60. And I was like, there's no way. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know these turns very well.
Yeah, my stepbrother does that. He speeds so bad. And, of course, he knows all the back roads from the area he's at. But, like, I had to follow him one time, and I was like, dude. Yeah. I had to call him and be like, can you slow down? Because he went over a hill and I didn't see him.
Yep.
I'm like, I don't know. And he goes like 90. And I'm like, no.
We had that.
Drive like that.
We hit the main highway and they were gone. And I'm like, well, it's 10:30 at night. I ain't going that fast. I can't have that perception of when I'm not familiar where I'm at. So luckily at that point I knew where I was. I was like, we're going to take our time from there.
I feel like the greatest feeling you can get on earth when you're driving is if somebody drives like a jerk and then the police pick them up right after they do it.
Yes. I don't see it very often.
You don't see it. But you get that moment of karma where it's instant. You know, they speed by you and then they're blocking the lane, slowing you way down, and then you drive around them again, and then they do that, and then all of a sudden they're camping out in the lane and they're trying to get by you and check you again, and there happens to be a cop there. And he just swoops in and you're like, sucker!
I was on my way to Ontario because my parents do like these garden pools. And there was this guy in this really questionable looking rust box going like 90 miles an hour. That car looked like it was going to like scrape the road. I don't even know. It was very questionable looking. And he was like going 90 miles an hour, had his music blasting, had the windows down and everything. He was driving recklessly. And then there was a sheriff that turned right onto, what does that mean road that goes to Ontario? I don't know.
81?
Maybe that.
Oh, yeah, going north.
Yeah. He turned on there and pulled the guy over, and I was like, yeah, there you go.
That's what you get.
That's what you get. I'm like, yeah, I drove by and honked my horn.
Did you?
And then I just gave a thumbs up. I told my daughters to do it, too. I was like, give a thumbs up, but don't put your hand out the window.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
That's actually funny.
Yeah, that car was very wiggly.
Wiggly is the word you're going to use?
Wiggly. Yeah. It's questionable. It was like
it wasn't aligned.
Like no, as he's driving, you see the car doing this, and I'm
so it had no springs.
I'm like, I would not be driving that fast with that car. Looks like it's going to fall apart.
Well, that's kind of like a distraction. I mean, I know we're steering away from this a little bit, which we usually do at least 3 times every time we do this. But it's like that bus that slants. Mm-hmm. It's a complete driving distraction.
Yeah.
I don't watch anything except the bus slant. The bus tips on its right side, and you're driving behind it, and the whole bus is tipped like this.
Permanently.
Yeah. It's a wheelchair.
It's a wheelchair bus, and it's in the back, and and
it slants. And I'm not looking. It's tunnel vision, right? And somebody else gets mad at you because I do have a bad habit. I'm trying to get better, but I have a bad habit of stopping in the middle of the intersection. Like if you get stacked up behind cars, I don't allow the people that pass through. just not thinking. I pull up, and then they come out and they get really. You can see them shaking their hand out the windshield. There it is. Well, too late now. Should have been here earlier, you know.
Yeah, I guess I really don't know how you're supposed to do that. I kind of stay a little bit back.
Be behind the crosswalk, I think.
Yeah, I stay a little bit back just so if that light does turn, I'm in a safe location.
Are you talking like you go through the light and you're sitting behind a crosswalk behind a car?
Yeah, so like if you go...
I think I'm like a turn.
Well, let's say you're in a city with blocks, right?
Okay.
You pull up to the light, or there's a bunch of people ahead of you, and they're stopped at the first light.
Yep.
But you are an intersection back that does not have a light.
Okay.
So you're all stacked up, and there's that intersection with just stop signs, but you're
in there.
But the road, but only the side roads have stop signs, not the main road.
Yeah.
So everybody shoves up behind each other, and they block the roads with the stop signs.
Yeah, you're not supposed to.
No,
I think all states you cannot block side roads.
So you have to be back, over the crosswalk, and then when the line goes, then you have to shoot across to. So a lot of people like to block that.
It happens a lot in downtown Syracuse.
Yeah.
People will be like in the middle of the road. It happened actually because they're doing construction up by the hospitals. And the other day there was a lot of that going on. There was a lot of people pulled out to go through the one lane, but the whole lane was blocked up by a bunch of vehicles because the light turned, but because of the construction, there was a bunch of vehicles stuck in the lane.
Oh, yeah.
And then these people are just inching closer up to these people's vehicles, and I'm like, I don't know where you think you're going. These people haven't gone anywhere yet. You're going to have to be waiting a minute. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, though, about New Jersey and Manhattan. So when you go into Manhattan, right, it's like 5 lanes wide. And everybody on the right-hand side is trying to get all the way over to the left-hand side.
Well, you have to pre-plan that ahead of time.
Yeah, but like you're in the tunnel that they shove down, it bottlenecks them into maybe 2 or 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And then you come out the other side and there's a stoplight, and they all just shoot out like this to 5 lanes, and you're trying to get all the way across. In the there's like this Y that you come up to, kind of like, hang on, I'm drawing it out.
Fancy.
Yeah,
it's like pants.
It's like pants, right? And you're trying to get way the heck to round the corner. You'll never make it. You can't. You have to just go right and drive all the way around the loop and come all. And it's a long ways because you're with all those cars for like 5-6 blocks. And each block, you just kind of work your way over a lane.
Oh my goodness!
And then you got to turn around and come back.
Oh my gosh!
Stop dropping that.
Well, that's like when you said the 5 lanes going to 3. That's why you hear 2 hours delay every day.
Every day.
It's just so poorly designed.
Mm.
Wow, we're already at 37 minutes.
That's why I don't like driving big cities.
That's pretty good.
What, you don't like driving in the big cities?
No.
I've had no idea.
The ones that you have to give credit for is the taxi drivers and the bicyclists. People that drive a bicycle in the city are pretty hardcore.
You ever watch those videos of the people like over in China? Where they're driving through the intersection.
They do, on their little mopeds.
They're
like,
nobody hits anybody else, though. How do they do it?
Even turning corners, they're like, they just shoot across the corner and there's cars going straight and they just weave through.
My brother was stationed in Germany for 2 years, and even though most of it he was in a war zone, he said the Autobahn and all that, because they go so fast and stuff like that, that they're actually the most careful drivers because they do go so fast. If they get in an accident, I mean, they're probably not going to make
dead.
it.
Yeah.
Wow. But he did say that they drive really well over there for driving so fast. He was like... People from America could not handle that.
Well, here you can barely make the left hand into Walmart.
No.
You know what I mean? That's the problem. People here, they just can't do it.
It's probably a Volkswagen to drive over there.
Yeah, if you had Volkswagen, that's why they're there. Maximum speed.
But he said the Autobahn was really, really nice.
That would be nice if we had an Autobahn. They'll never do it.
What is that? Isn't it like 90 miles per hour?
No, it's like an unlimited open road.
Yeah, there's no speed limit.
There's no limit. You can hammer right out in the left lane and you just go. Over in Germany. It goes through Europe. Yeah, so it's this road with no speed limit. And people take, their Audis and these Lamborghinis and they hit the left lane and they just see as fast as that car can go.
But even the areas where they do have
watch
speed
some
limits,
videos
it's like
of the
70
Autobahn.
miles an hour.
Yeah, I've never heard that. I gotta look that up.
It's like that down south though too. Their highways are 70.
Yeah.
miles an hour.
Isn't that also like out west, like in Texas and Utah?
Yeah, they have like
area?
80, 85 mile an hour speed limits.
They're very high.
Yeah, but they're all straight roads.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Well, it's also so hot. They got that air in there cool. It just it's so hot out there.
It's pretty good.
It's like half the temp of the engine's running.
I heard that some of the reason why they allow the speed limits and stuff like that down there too is because the roads get so hot.
I believe it.
So they can't go slow or their tires are going to melt? Like,
I don't know. I think it sounds like that.
We don't know the reason why. We just know it happens.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I mean,
but the roads are all sun bleached.
Here's the other thing though: the faster the tire goes, the hotter it gets.
Does it though? Yeah, I would assume yes.
You know, I mean, the faster it goes, I would think the higher the internal temperature is.
But the more air you put through your radiator, because you're going to need it 110 degree ambient temp. Getting a little warm there, but it's true. I mean, tires really warm up.
Could you imagine how far you could travel if you were
doing 90 miles an hour?
I mean, at least.
Yeah.
And you were just going. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I wonder what your mileage is.
You do the state of New York.
You might have going $1.60. How far can you get?
Probably do the state of New York in like 5 hours.
Yeah, I bet you could.
I don't know.
No, faster than that.
Yeah, because from here to New York,
it's like 5 hours.
Like 5 hours,
yeah.
And then if you
from here to Pennsylvania, it's only like 4.
No, but I'm saying the lengthwise of.
Right, like if you were to start out in Buffalo and go all the way across,
or north to south, or like Plattsburgh to New York City. How long would it take?
How long is that?
If it's a straight road, though,
no, it's longer than that. It's like 9-10 hours.
Way up there, it is.
Yeah,
because you're talking way up. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because that's all still New York.
Yeah,
that's the high peak of New York. So, yeah.
Imagine the road rage you'd have there, Matt. What would you be mad about if you were doing 150 miles an hour in your Ram?
We would not be doing 150 miles an hour.
If I was going that fast, I'd be buying a Ford Ranger.
A Ford Ranger!
Oh my god. The Ford Ranger. All right. Well, I feel like we've gone through everything possible with road rage.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
I think we got some good examples in there.
We do. And you know, as soon as we stop this, I'm going to think of.
Well, we haven't even talked about massholes.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
What?
All right, elaborate.
Massholes, okay? People from Massachusetts, I don't know what it is, but they drive like idiots.
You've never heard that expression?
Sorry, people from Massachusetts.
Well,
it's.
But people in Jersey are the same way too. They're pretty nuts down there.
But they don't have an actual name that I'm aware of.
No,
Jersey does it. Just massholes.
Huh.
I personally think people from Florida drive like idiots.
Well, they do as well, but
they always drive extremely slow, and you're like, I know that we're all probably retirement people here, but
yeah, they are.
Try to drive the speed limit.
Yeah, but not everybody drives slow. Like a lot of the retirees, you think they drive slow and they don't.
Every time I've ever been behind somebody with a Florida license plate, they drive slow.
They're snowbirds.
And they're
scared of the snow.
They have the minivans.
Look at that.
Slowest or the
it's
fastest
a tree.
Vehicles in the world.
The fastest vans that
There's
go
a cow. I was like, yes, it's a cow. Please drive the speed limit.
I love seeing those. I don't know if they're Jewish or whatever, but they're all in a minivan, and those people know how to drive.
You're talking like the Hasidic Jews with the curls?
Yeah.
Nice.
They're always in those Econoline 350 white panel.
Boy, they are.
Yes.
Left wing. They just.
Or the Mormons in the van.
Yeah.
That's
what I was thinking of.
Mennonites.
Is it Mennonites?
Well, they're allowed to.
They get 13 of them in a van.
Oh, they fit 20 of them. They pack them in like
those
sardines.
Those vans are working.
It's squatted, too.
I don't think a lot have radios in their cars, though.
I believe farm shows are
really?
Yeah.
No, they have to take, and usually it has to be black. It has to be a black car.
Yeah.
Do they sing? How do you get by that?
They sing Jesus tunes only.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that, but
yeah, no, it's for real.
I think they have to take the radios
Imagine
out.
that like a 13-hour ride, though.
They're not allowed to have radios.
Like
no, I mean like a 13-hour ride where the only way you could do it is to like sing to each other. I would
not lose it.
No, because you wouldn't have road rage outside the car. You'd be inside having rage. Get trapped. Oh, I would get so sick in the back, trapped with everybody.
Oh yeah, and nothing sucks worse than when you're on a long road trip with children. Oh, that's the worst. Because they're constantly like, when are we getting there? Are we almost there? It's like, we're going to be there soon. If you ask one more damn time.
My niece did that. She was, like, would you stop?
Oh my God.
We are not even a quarter of the way there. It's a 20-minute ride.
Right, or every 5 minutes. It's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. You just had to go to the bathroom. Like, what are you doing? You haven't even drank that much. And it's not that they have to go to the bathroom. They just want to get out of the car because they're trapped in the car and they want to do it. And you'll have it all planned out. Like, you'll have the snacks, everything. You'll have a schedule.
The stops.
You cannot stick to a schedule when you have children on a road trip with you.
I'm not sure where we're going with this.
It makes me rage.
That's road rage in the car because then you start driving like an a-hole because you just want to get there. And you don't care who you cut off.
You speed through all of the orange or yellow lights.
You're the guy in front. It's all over the road. Because you're looking over your shoulder yelling at your kids.
Yes, and then you're thinking to yourself, listen, if I get pulled over, I'll take a night in jail away from these kids.
Please. Put me away.
Really stick them in there with you.
Go ahead. You want to take it for a little bit, officer? Please do.
That was a lot.
Road trips with children suck.
I think road trips beyond a certain amount of time suck.
Oh my God!
You can only have so much fun on a trip for so long, and then
you get tired of being in the car.
The drive from New York to Florida. Ugh.
Yeah, that's a haul.
We drove to Myrtle Beach, and oh my God, we could not wait to get out of that car. We were sick of it. We didn't even want to be back in the car the rest of the vacation. But when we'd have to get in it, we'd get all depressed.
Myrtle Beach is what, North or South Carolina?
South Carolina.
Yeah, I drove to Virginia Beach, and that's only 9 hours, and
Yeah,
that was enough.
I think that was 8
We
for
drove,
Myrtle. It was
14 hours? Was it 14 hours?
Straight.
When
we went to Myrtle Beach.
No, it wasn't like 14 hours straight. No, it was less than that.
Well, it was supposed to originally be 14 hours, but you sped the hell.
Yeah, so we got there.
12 hours.
He let me drive a little bit. I drove some of it on the way down. So he could sleep. But on the way back, he mostly drove it because apparently I don't drive fast enough.
Nope.
But he let me drive like the last hour before we got home, and I got lost. I took the wrong turn.
So I'm sleeping. Now, we made it the whole way. We're not that far from home. And what happened when I let you drive the last little bit?
I was on the phone with his friend Ian, and I took the wrong turn.
Road rage.
And
I woke up angry.
Oh my God!
I did. I woke up so mad.
Because I had Ian in on it. Like I was like, "Hey, we're not going to tell him that like I took the wrong turn," because I realized like we should not be in downtown Syracuse. This is weird. Like, why are we here? And he's like, "Of course, Ian's a good support system." He's like, "It's okay. You'll get there." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah." And he wakes up right as I'm like, I wasn't even like turning weird or anything. I was literally at a red light.
You're skipping steps here. Okay. So you're skipping steps of how you got there. All right.
So you're on the
highway. No. You didn't take a wrong turn. You deliberately got off an exit instead of staying on the highway, which takes you home.
Okay, so because I thought that's where I was supposed to get off of, and I wasn't.
You got to clarify.
I read the GPS wrong.
It was like, stay in this lane to continue on this road. And you
I
said,
read the GPS
I'm getting off
wrong.
this exit.
So
I thought I was supposed to get off. I guess I wasn't. Realized I was downtown. The GPS rerouted, and I was at a light waiting. There's a homeless guy standing on the corner outside the window, and I don't know what woke him up, but all of a sudden he sits up and he goes, "Why the hell is there a homeless man outside the window at 2:00 in the morning?" And I'm like, I got off at the wrong exit. He was like, "What do you mean you got why the hell are we in downtown Syracuse?" And then he's like, "Pull over." I'm like, "I can't pull over because then the light turned green." So I drove a little while. We argued about it for a little bit. And then he was like, "Amber, pull over the damn car now. I'm driving
I was mad. I was mad. So
Yeah.
she's trying to have my college friend be an accomplice so that I wouldn't have known about this. So then we get there, and I'm like, why are we here when if you just followed the one road, the same road we've been on for 8 hours, you know, we would have been there. And she goes, "Well, I don't really know if that's the excuse to use as the GPS. I don't know if you saw food sign.
No, I did not.
But you turned off.
I really read the GPS wrong.
And
I thought I had to turn. I didn't realize it just wanted me to stay in the lane, and it was. I thought I had.
But I woke up at the wrong time for you, and then once I realized we weren't home, and we were with the homeless guys in downtown, I might have lost it.
One homeless guy. He did. He apologized later.
I did.
He was like,
But the minute that I knew we were there, I'm like, get out of the driver's seat. Like, I'm driving. I don't care if we
next to the homeless person.
No, a little ways down.
Oh, okay.
We went a little ways down. We kind of got out of the bad part. I was scared to get out of the car because we were in like the bad area of Syracuse.
I was
like, I'm not getting out So that's what I think irritated him even more is because he wanted me to pull over so he could take over, and I was too scared to pull over in that part of Syracuse.
That's where
so I waited till we were more comfortable.
At that point,
and
I
you
would
get
have
over
let
the
him take
middle
you away.
console
You're
and he
right
goes
here.
out.
You were
and
on level
around.
5 road
I didn't
rage.
think
I was
that.
I was class 5.
That's
You're class
okay.
five
Yes, I was a
road
class 5 road rager at that point, and I wasn't even driving.
No.
I think he was going 90 the rest of the way. Like we were like what 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and we got there in 10.
Yes.
Yeah, he sped.
Dang.
Yeah, we were moving.
You were booking it.
He was like he literally went off the ramp for Ruritan, and we were like.
2 wheels. Yeah, we're going. I'm like, that is real close.
I had hold of the old shit bar. I was just like, but I was like not gonna say anything because he was pretty mad, and I'm like, I'm not gonna attempt it today.
No, it was.
Could you slow down?
2 something in the morning.
Oh, there we go. It went ahead of time.
It's
all right. We'll wrap it up. All right, there. Whoops. Oh, why is it doing that?
What? Give me a lyric.
This is Amazon.
No, he messed it up.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
How can you mess it up when it's so awesome? See?
That's true.
You have to have a song that fits every occasion, and this is it today.
What was our one for Facebook?
Did we have one for Facebook?
I don't remember.
No, we had the Who, didn't we?
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. You guys heard it. Was it the Who?
I don't
I don't remember.
It didn't have words.
I
Whatever it was, it didn't have words.
All right. Well, we're going to close it up. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
We're doing it. All right. Goodbye.